Hey, Tom here. Welcome to my channel, Tom Loves DIY. My next video is about how to add an integrated pot stand to my squirt cheese can stove. Super lightweight, stable, and not too difficult to build. I hope you stick around and watch, and maybe subscribe and click that like button. Regardless, thanks for watching. I'm remaking my stove because this one turned out to be a little lopsided. When I pressed the two pieces together, one side went in a little more than the other. So that's one reason, but the other is that I'm going to be using this stainless steel rod, I think it's 2.5 millimeters, to build a pot stand that's integrated into the stove. So I have my little scale here. This piece is 38. This one is about 30. And this one is 35. So this piece will end up inside. This will be pushed down on the top. Now I've already marked it, and I've also taken out the rubber stopper that you'll find in the bottom of these and drilled this to 1/4 inch. And I've marked, I don't know, let's see if you can see those little black marks on there. 8 marks around the outside. Now I set this up with a template that I made with a compass. It actually has 12 positions, but I'm only using 2, then I skip 1, 2, skip 1, etc. And that goes there. You can find out how to make those with a compass and a straight edge on YouTube. So I've made these 3 tabs. These are what are going to hold the pot stand on. Pretty easy to make. Cut your piece, and if you have less than 3 hands, you may want to use a little piece of blue tape there. Hold it in place. Get that there. I've marked it at 1.5 centimeters. Set this over it and tap it down. And what you end up with is a little slot. You see that? That will be able to slide up and down and hold it in place. Pretty cool. Here's my 3 finished pot stand sections of stainless steel rod, as close to identical as I could make them. Now the way these are going to attach, we'll be using these brackets. They will go onto the stove like so, and they'll stay in place. Now this little curve spot down here, so that there's a curve there to match this, that will sit in a little holder, and when it's time to be done, be able to fold this like so, slide it down and out of the way. I have all the components completed. I have the top and bottom. I also put a little bit of JB Weld on there just to reinforce that that rubber plug won't come out and leak. And I've put the inner sleeve in. You can see it has 3 notches. It has been put together with a couple of pop rivets, and I also threw a little JB Weld on there. Now that is JB'd to the top. And I JB Weld it there because when you press these together, it's difficult to get that to stay in place. So that'll be one of the next steps, to push these together, hopefully get them nice and even. These little support clips are made from 1/2 inch wide and 1/16 inch aluminum, and I bent them on the vise, tapped them with a hammer. These clips are made from the same material that the squirt cheese can, and so they're a little bit thinner, a little bit more fragile, but I think they're going to do the job because most of the weight of the pot will be pushing down against this. So these should be okay. Have to be careful not to crack these when you create that little groove for the support stand to sit in. It's time to put the stove together, and I expanded the top just a little bit, maybe down to about, and I can therefore fit these together with the bottom on the inside. Get that started and just squeeze it together a little bit before I put it in the vise. Okay, there. So I think that's pretty even. So I'm going to set it in, and I will be doing this a little at a time. Rotate. Put this in to protect it a little bit now that it's scrunched down a bit. The trick to this is small increments. That might be good enough. I'm going to check it. I've got a little probe I can put in there that will tell me if the inner sleeve is all the way down. I'm working on installing my 3 supports. I have 2 of them done. You can see that they rotate and they can move up and down, and they'll be this way for storage. And then pulled out. And to use them with the pot, this will go up quite a ways like that. This one is the 3rd one. And you can see I've just used some blue tape to hold it in place, because I want it to be in the proper location. And I've been very careful to make sure these are straight up and down, and that they are all on 1/3 of the circumference, so that this will work well as a pot stand. And I think it's going to work great. I have attached supports. This will go on here just below this seam, so that when this comes up and across, it'll snap down in, be held in place. Do that with all 3 and you've got a pot stand that is very stable. And aluminum oxidizes, and it will kind of reject the JB Weld or any other adhesive. So I'm going to sand it carefully. Got my JB ready here, and I will reapply it and give it a good 24 hours to harden. The stove is done, though I will do some cleanup to get rid of some of these miscellaneous bits of JB Weld. And here's how it operates. Take this, snap it down in, do that 3 times. Hear that click? That's because it's snapping in underneath the top section. And there you go. Decided to make an addition to the stove. It's typically in use, you have a coin or something covering the center hole, kind of like a penny stove. It's not mandatory, don't have to do it, but it's handy. This is actually a punch out from a metal electrical box, pretty common. You could use a quarter or whatever. But I had a tiny magnet. I don't know if this is a neodymium or whatever that is, but it's really powerful. So I JB welded it on the bottom. And then I'll be able to put this on the bottom of the stove, and I won't lose it. It will be there every time I take the stove out. So that's just a little extra add-on that I did that I think is pretty cool. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it if you'd subscribe, click the like button. Either way, hope you have a great day and get out there on the trail.